So I'm just going to mention my Twitter name first, so anyone on the back channel can attribute anything to me. And hopefully I remember the shortcuts because I'm nervous as hell. Okay, so everyone's seen the cup and the shirt. CSS is awesome. We probably need a new version now. Except for Firefox, you suck. So I work on the Jira team at Atlassian, and we've recently dropped IE7 support. So we rethought, we hate floats. There's limitations to them. There's a lot of hacks in order to get, backgrounds and borders and stuff flowing down when different columns stretch. So we came up with a little sort of pattern that we're sort of reusing using display table and table cell. What this allowed us to do was get rid of a lot of the floated based things just for purely page layout that we were using, and eradicated a lot of the bugs we were encountering. So this is just a simple page showing two different columns. I'm just going to alt full screen and just sort of give you an idea. So it's your standard 50% share like you do with floats, but you can get padding without having to have a wrapper div. Now we can keep going further, and I've used some Bogan Ibsen and some Samuel L. Ibsen as well on these. So you can get the padding and the spacing between containers quite nicely. No clear fix involved. Now you can mix fluid and fixed width columns, which you can't really do in CSS. It was either do percentages or do fixed, and that's fine, but it's nice to have sort of the best of both worlds. So you can see the right-hand column there's fixed width, and the other two just split it up nicely as you would back in table layouts. Now, this is all just divs. There's nothing really fancy going on here. No JavaScript. So normally when you're doing something like this, you might have faux columns or some kind of JavaScript that calculates heights of divs on resize or on page load or whatever. You don't need any of this. So this is all actually, once you drop IE7, you don't need any of this. So this is again fixed left, fixed right, the old school 3-column layout. Borders collapse, like your standard thing. Now, if you try to reproduce this to floats, you either need to maybe have a background image that carries a border down if you want to have two different colors and stuff. So, you don't really need that anymore. Rounded panels. So designers always give you these things: equal height, rounded panels. IE8 won't get rounded, but who cares? So I'm just going to take a quick tangent onto adjacent sibling selectors. IE7 had these. Not many people really use them as much as they could or should. So it's basically when you've got something plus something, then you can apply it. So you've got a standard pattern where you maybe got a div and you've got a label and an input, or an input and a label in the case of radios and checkboxes. Use the adjacent sibling selector. So if you've got top labels, you can have the label display block, but the problem is display block after a checkbox, of course, wraps it. You switch it, same for the left labels, you maybe float it, you negative indent it, put a padding. Problem is then the labels here go. Now, yeah, sure, you can go and class all those labels or class the divs. So you say, oh, the label inside this guy doesn't go, he goes after it. You don't need to, you just go label plus and override the original setting. So then they sit nicely. So label above sits there, label after, display inline. Same thing with these guys, you just take the float off, basically reset the values you've already set. Now, what does that sort of go on to? I'm going to use that on the last slide. Box sizing. Box sizing border boxes made my life joyous. Styling form controls. You want to style a input field or a text area. You put a background color, you change the padding on it, you change the border on it, you're going to lose your input glow, right? If you want to go and push your own borders on focus or whatever, fine, go and do that, but I'd recommend not. Accessibility issues. Thank you. You just simply apply a box sizing border box, and they effectively go with 100%. So it's sort of like IE6 got something right in quirks mode in that you normally assign something with 100%, and the padding and the borders get attributed on the outside of that, which means they break outside. Box sizing border box means that they go on the inside, so you can then go say like with 100% on a div or whatever you want, and he will sit at 100% like he's supposed to. So this is just an example of, I did this in about half an hour this afternoon, so it doesn't look great. So this is just sort of bringing it in. There's no floats, no tables. We get fixed column on the left, fixed on the right. Things sort of grow reasonably well. Now, if we go in here, I use the adjacent sibling selectors to style a rounded corner on the left of this content guy. So if I delete nav, he gets the rounded corner on the left, but in the presence of the nav, he doesn't. And the same thing for the email address. If I delete this guy, he gets rounded corners all over. So what did I know? Dropping IE7 support really, really makes your life happy. That's it.